Hello everyone, this is Caledorn. I know it's been a while. It's actually been a year since I recorded videos for my channel, and I've missed it quite a bit, so it's very nice to be back. Lately I've been playing Eco. This building you see here is the welcome center for the community server, which I'm hosting for Catherine of Sky, and it was built by one of our community moderators before we opened the server yesterday, Alnilana, and I have to admit that she did a very nice job. We can go inside and have a look, and there is a sign shop with some instructions left here. There is a requisition shop for basic starting equipment. There is a server rule area where you can see the rules for the server. There is a message center where you're able to leave a sign if you're playing on the server for other players. And there's also an advertising wall if you want to advertise that you're selling or buying any products. So Eco is a very, very interesting game to me. I've enjoyed playing Minecraft over the years, but Minecraft, it has an interesting game mechanic, but it's very much a sandbox world, which does appeal to me. The problem though is that I prefer playing in creative mode in Minecraft, and well, when I start building things I kind of have a tendency to go a bit overboard, and that is not something that my hand and wrist appreciates because of all the clicking that involves on the mouse buttons. But yeah, what I wanted to show you now is what a community of around 40 to 50 players have managed to do within a time span of 24 hours. So what you're looking at here is the pre-designated area, which we designated to be the city. This is the second iteration of the community server that we've made. We've already had one run, and if you go to Catherine of Sky's YouTube channel, which I will link in my description of this video, you can actually take a look at how that server looked. She has some guided tours, and also the end game when we shot down the meteor, which was, for some reason I'm not quite certain about, named Bob. So, okay, let's just go around here. Keep in mind, everything you see here is built within the last 24 hours. All these buildings, they were not here yesterday, except for the Welcome Center and this building here, which is the bank. One of my roles in the game is that I am the bank manager running the economy that we are running inside the community. And that's a role that I've found to be fairly interesting and actually quite entertaining as well. Here you can see Iris and her shop. She sells basic products like mortared stone, gold ore, iron ore, dirt, pitch, and sand, and also some seeds. And she's buying wood pulp, which I presume she needs for making more pitch, but I might be wrong. And she's also buying stockpiles. And you can see that there is a price here, and there is also a quantity here. So if I wanted to buy mortared stone, I would have to pay 0.44 fuzzycats, which is our designated name of currency in the game, which of course splits up into cuddly kittens. So this is 44 cuddly kittens for one piece of mortared stone. Okay, let's just have a walk around the city. If you're wondering what these little markers here are, they are the markers that designate the area where these roads are supposed to be built. We are trying to make an extended road network and make it look like a city. If you look at my right here, these plots that you can see here, if you look at the minimap down in the left, you can see there are many different colors, and all of those small boxes that you can see down there, I will zoom in, each of these designates a plot. and the players have been able to purchase these plots. These small ones are market stalls, so these are not as expensive as the bigger plots, which I will show you. We're coming to them very soon now. So we decided that we wanted the city to be split into those who don't really want to have their workshop in the city, but just want to haul their wares into the city and just have a place to sell their wares. And that's what you see here. The players who have built their market stalls here, they have basically decided that they want to live outside the city, and they're just going to haul wares in town. On my left-hand side, I will zoom out a bit again. You can see this big square here. The middle of it is the park, and the yellow area around it is the community buildings, like the bank down there in the red, and we're also going to build the city hall and other helpful buildings for the community. So, wow. Oh my, that's an impressive building that I haven't seen. Someone has built a tower. I'm astounded by how someone has actually taken the time and effort to build this so quickly. It looks really cool. Oh, it's Alilana. I'm impressed. Well done, Alilana. She started furnishing it. There is a mechanic in the game which you get skill points basically every hour, and the skill points is from down here. You can see there is a circle here which is my nutrition value, and currently I'm getting 45 skill points due to my nutritional value in terms of red, which is carbs. The orange is a designated area for proteins, yellow for fat, and green for vitamins. And one of the challenges of the game is to actually manage to try to make this as perfect across as possible, so that you have a very varied diet where you get an equal amount of all of these 4 food sources. The bluish greenish circle here is the house value, and that's the value below. So I get a combined skill point value right now per 24 hours, unless I do something that changes this, like do work, chop trees, mine stones, etc. I would get 56.4 skill points per 24 hours at present. And I can click this to view my skill tree. And as you can see, I have branched into the basic survivalist things, and I've maxed out the basic crafting, which is helpful for making all the basic stuff like, let's see here. I can make stone hammers, stores, I can make arrows and bows, and stone scythes and wooden hoes. I can make wooden shovels and tallow candles, and I can also make all the basic tools like axe, pickaxe, construction posts, repair stations, and so forth. You can see yourself what I'm being able to build when I'm hovering over this. Also, you have the efficiency skill that reduces the cost by 80%, since I have it maxed out, and the speed, which also reduces the crafting time by 80% when maxed out. So let's just explore this building. I'm very fascinated by this. Oh, this is probably from one of the mods that we've added. This is not a base game object. Not. My microphone cut out there for a moment. I need to fix that briefly. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, these are basic coffee tables, and they look very cute. The next floor contains A gigantic wardrobe, a very futuristic looking dresser, some shelves, and a not so a quite depressive bed compared to the other furniture in the room. But yeah, we don't have access to the more nicer looking beds yet, I presume. This is an interesting room. Let's just move on. And here we have the top level, which we obviously haven't finished yet. Okay, why does this room look so funky? The reason for that is simple. You get the house score. It is based on the furniture you put inside all of your special rooms, and at a certain point you can get the same kind of cross on the housing score as you can get on the nutrition score. So that's why Alnilana has chosen to do this, because this room gives her a nice amount of skill points. So that's the reason for that. She'll probably furnish her house better as time progresses and she has access to making larger rooms and so forth. And yes, this is one of the larger plots in the city, which are 4x4 as opposed to 2x2, which the little market stalls that you can see over there, they are 2x2. Here we have a shop. Eats, Shoots and Beans. The person who owns this, which is also Alnilana, has chosen to have one shop for us players selling stuff to her, while I presume that the shop over there is probably where I would go to buy foods. Now, I make foods myself. That's the other part of the skill tree that I didn't show you. It's the chef. So I have maxed out everything in the basic campfire cooking, and just before I started recording this video I also maxed out everything in the advanced campfire cooking tree, so I can make more advanced recipes as well in a campfire. I'm planning on going into either baking or cooking, because those professions are quite gentle on my wrist, so that I don't get pains in my hand, which is, well, it's not very nice, and it would ruin my game experience. This building is a very interesting dirt building. And I fell down into the booby trap. Okay, let's just get out of here again. I hope it would be very awkward if I'm stuck here. It's like parkour, and I'm not very good at parkour, so yeah, good thing that I managed that on the first attempt. Here we have a tunnel, it would seem. This is interesting. It's on someone's plot though, so there's probably a reason for it. Probably mining stone and ore underneath. And here someone has left a log here. When you chop down trees, you can get logs that way. I really like the look of this building. Nice stone floor. Yes, this is very nice. It's a shop. Oh, it's a butchery shop. Handy. Someone here has obviously gone to great lengths to ensure that people know that this is my deed and this is the border of my deed. This deed here is where I'm going to build my cookery or kitchen. So as you can see, I have a fair amount of space here that I can build on. Have some trees that I need to cut down, and yeah, I'm looking very much forward to that. That's one of the things that I intend to do afterwards. I'm going to set up my shop, and I will show that to you in a later video. So here we have this is very nice design as well. I love seeing how different people use their creativity to make interesting designs. Like the roof design on this building is very exquisite in my opinion. It's a very original idea. I've never seen this before, and also the columns with roof on top make the building look very unique. This would be Malarian shop. he's selling logs, so I will be visiting this shop. He doesn't have much in stock though, so I might have to ask him to make me more. Here we have... Yeah, you can put the signs on your carts, and yeah, this is a good one. I like this one. Barvin, kudos for your very funny sign. Barvin has built a road workshop. He's going to be one of the road builders, and he sells, oh my, carts. Very many of them as well. I'm probably going to have to buy one of these. I'm borrowing a cart from Catherine, so I'll just buy that right away so that I can give Catherine's cart back and don't have to worry about having to borrow hers every time I need a larger cart. This building is also very interesting. This is a carpentry table and a Wainwright table, so I assume that this one is going to be a shop for roads, perhaps? It belongs to Eli. There is no shop here, so to be honest, I'm not sure yet. But we'll see. Here we have another building in a somewhat similar style. But yeah, it's also owned by Eli. I'm probably on the same lot, to be honest. I like the design. It looks very cute. Very original with these hallways between the rooms. And here we have some furnishings. So this is probably where Eli is getting some skill points for his or her housing score. This building down here is very nice as well. I'm not really a big fan of the bricks, but when combined with other materials like Catherine has done here, because this is Catherine's verdant garden produce. When it's combined with these other materials, I must admit that I do look at it in a more well, it looks much better than just pure bricks. The brick, I've never really liked bricks. It can be very cute when you have brick buildings like in England or the United Kingdom, but I find them a bit too intense in the red color. So my favorite texture in the game is probably this one, the mortared stone. I really like the mortared stone windows, and I really like how they have made these patterns in the stone. It looks very nice. But there's also lumber, which is tier 2 building material, which we do not have, as far as I know at least, access to yet. But bricks also is a tier 2 building material, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do have access to it. Must say that the community are they're quite impressive when it comes to how quickly they build things. Oh, stained glass doors. I might want to buy one of these. Yes, I'm going on a shopping spree when I'm done this recording. Currently, this little red bar down here represents how much I have in my inventory, and wooden carts, they are heavy. So those 2 wooden carts I'm carrying around, they weigh 30 kilos, and I can only carry 40. So that's I shouldn't really buy much at present. Down here are some properties that haven't been developed yet. They're probably going to have to cart in some dirt or make their buildings on pillars. But I'm sure that we will see some very interesting designs on these buildings as well. Here's a lovely staircase going down into the shop. Oh, property claim Marcus. Yeah, why not? And there's a basement here. Yeah, this looks like a workshop, and there's probably a mine down there. I don't want to go into people's private areas, even if they've left them open. It feels like intruding on their privacy. So over here, I really like this building as well, and I really, as I've said, I really love seeing the different ways that people come up with creative solutions for building their buildings, and this is really nice. Oh, I really love this design. You get a window-like feeling in the ceiling, and still it closes off the room downstairs so that you don't lose any room score. And the stockpile is placed in a location that's sensible. So yeah, kudos to you, Eris, for this very lovely design. I really like this design. I might even steal this in my own creative designs. I like stealing ideas and incorporating them into my own ideas. It's part of the fun for me in games like this, actually, to see how people solve things. And yeah. So finally we can go to the bank, which I built using a little bit of a cheat, since we had no bricks and definitely no concrete and steel, which are the end game tier materials. But I wanted the bank to look authentic, and the 11.4 skill points that I received from my housing value is from this building. So I've felt that I've been a little bit cheaty since I got the skill points earlier, but at this point, based on what I saw from the other buildings here, there are people that are definitely getting more skill points than I am at the moment. So I have the basic shop here. Currently I have to sell everything here, also the food, since I haven't built my my store building yet, where I'm actually going to be selling the food. I'm also buying some basic stuff in this building. Everything is linked. There is a storage tab which shows what things are linked to. And the shop is linked up to some chests and a bookshelf. Actually, a bookshelf functions like a chest. The developers may change that later on. So you have the manager's office, which is in here. Nothing special really. I hope that with one of the mods that we've added, that there are some tables that will look more like a desk than this. A couple of bookshelves. One of them is where I keep my deeds. And if we go downstairs, then we have the vault. And this is steel and this is concrete. So this is the vault. I've left the doors open so people can go in and take a look if they want to. They can't do anything with it yet, because only the world leader is able to access the treasury. And this is where I can set sales tax, crafting fee tax, contract tax, and direct transfer taxes. Since the server is so young, I don't want to put up any taxes yet, so everything is at 0 now. I need to see how the economy develops before I decide whether or not taxes are necessary. They may not be. We had to use taxes on the previous server, but they were very low. I set them at 3%. Also, this is the mint. This is where I create new fuzzy cats. For every gold bar I have available, as you can see I have none at the moment, I will create 10 fuzzy cats. I don't know if I'm going to need to create more fuzzy cats for the server. It depends on how many players join the server and play actively, but I keep track of the economy through the economy viewer, which you can find down here. This is where you can see, it takes a little time to load up because there are many shops already. This is where you can see what people are selling, where the shops are. You can click this if you want a waypoint for the shop, and you can compare prices. And you can also go to the wanted tab, where you can see what people will desire to buy in their shops. Then you have the contact system, which is not in use yet, and you have the crafting tables. I have no experience whatsoever with this tab, so I'm afraid I don't really know too much about it. It appears that the Ontario gardener, for instance, are creating campfire beans in one of his campfires at the moment, but since it says minus 38 seconds, I will just assume that he doesn't have, yeah, it says missing ingredients, so he does not have beans available for the campfire at the moment. And then finally you have the currencies. The game generates a personal credit for every player who is on the server, which is sort of how the developers have thought that the economic system should work until someone is able to build a mint and a treasury. What we decided on, based on the experience we had on the previous server, is that we will just spawn in a mint and we will spawn in gold and we will generate 50,000 credits at the start of the game. Because it was very chaotic when we had all these different credits, and it was kind of difficult to handle the economy, because if you bought something from someone, you would, or rather, if you sold something to someone, you would be getting the credit that they gave you, and most of the time that would be their personal credit, so you would only be able to use that credit in their shop unless said person also set up a shop where they chose to accept another type of credit as well. So by using a standard credit, which you can see it's not in parentheses, and there's 50,000 of it in the world, whereas there is 0 in circulation of all the other credits, and that is how we hope it will remain. And I can also click the currency report. Anyone can do this, by the way, not just me, and you can see how many credits everyone has. At present, I have a substantial amount of credits, since I was the one who printed every credit, basically, so I control more than 50% of the entire credit balance of the world with my 27,000 credits. But what I plan on doing with this is to let the community do community projects, like building the town hall, building roads, and things like that, where I will pay them out of my personal wallet, in quotation marks, because it's not really my personal wallet, and that way I will get more of these credits into circulation, so that players can use them to sell and buy wares and basically have a running economy, which is sort of a capitalistic system where we will have people undercutting one another, which is a natural consequence of having a currency-based economy, obviously, where there is one credit. If I do this, I'm now sorting it based on items, and you can already see I am selling basic engineering skill scrolls in my shop. I have 0 available, but 2 other players have chosen to undercut me by selling their basic engineering skill scrolls for 3 instead of 4. If I were interested in making money, which I'm not, based on the fact that I don't need money, I need actually to spend money rather than to earn money, I could adjust the price to 2.5 or to 2 if I wanted. But that's not something that I would like to do, considering the fact that my primary goal and mission is to make sure that the economy functions, not that I sit on as much money as I do. And there are different wares that are being sold, as you can see. This browser will show you every single ware that is being sold in the world and at what price, and you can compare the prices. Like if I wanted to buy tomatoes, I would probably go to Asmundar store, since it would cost me 0.03, unless of course I am the bank manager, as I am. That being the bank manager, I have the certain responsibility to make sure that the credits come out into the circulation, as I told you earlier. But most other players would probably go to Asmundar to buy tomatoes from him, since he has the cheapest price. However, he is empty, his stock. So the next best option would be to go to Ribal76, who has 32 in stock at a price of 0.1. Well, you have Down Under Fresh Produce, who is selling at 0.3. So yeah, I hope I have given you all a short impression of what Eco is capable of. I would like to add that Eco as a game fascinates me, because everything you do in the world has a consequence. Like, say for instance you chop down a tree. You can replant it, but it will take 4 days, and that's 4 in-game days, but it will take, I think it's 4 in-game days. It might actually be 4 real-time days, but I think it's 4 in-game days for a tree to regrow. Which makes logs a rather rare resource when someone is deforesting an area. And if you exterminate or over-harvest certain plants to make food, then animals will have difficulties because they are dependent upon those plants to eat. So you can actually extinguish both plants and also animals from the world if you're not careful with what you're doing. As the game progresses, you also open up technologies like smelting, where you smelt various ores into ingots. And the first way of doing this is through a bloomery. When you smelt an iron ore, for instance, or a copper ore, whatever you smelt in the bloomery creates an item which is called a tailing. And tailings generate ground pollution. Ground pollution kills plants, basically. The next tier of smelting is the blast furnaces, which does not generate the tailings, but instead generate air pollution, which also kills plants. And there is a very interesting mechanic in this game where if you have a certain threshold of carbon dioxide particles in the air, you will have consequences that are quite severe in form of global warming, which means that the ocean levels will rise. The default for this, which is what we're using on our server, is that when their threshold for CO2 particles in the air, which is designated as ppm, reaches 275, the ocean level will rise by 1. And for every 25 CO2 ppm after that, it will continue to raise by 1. So say that the total air pollution on the server reaches 350, the ocean level will have risen by 3, which can be quite fatal for people who are living on the coast. Like when I take this map, I can pull it up here and I can make it larger. You can see that these areas down here, the coasts here, they would disappear. They would be flooded. Also the coasts here would be flooded. I'm not sure what this is. Probably someone who's made a bridge, so this is probably a bridge. Most players currently live in high areas, but here is a player that would have potential problems if the sea level raises by 3, because this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 3. So only one more and the house is basically flooded. That didn't happen on the previous iteration of our server, so I'm curious to see if it happens this time. I will turn off the show property so that you can see the city. It looks kind of beautiful, to be honest. And yeah, I had to build a bridge there yesterday. I didn't intend for it to have any religious references, but it ended up that way. If you like advanced simulation games, if you like games that makes you have to think about consequences in the world, and where you can see that whatever you do, it does have a consequence in the world, I would definitely recommend Eco as a game for you. Also, if you like building, if you like figuring out how to craft stuff, Eco is a brilliant game, and it's right up in the alley of the kind of game that I like. It's currently in early access, so there are bugs, but I will definitely give credit to the developers for having provided very good support, especially when they realized that we are running a quite substantial community on this server. So they are doing their very best at ironing out the bugs, and I'm filing bug reports whenever I encounter any serious bugs, and also I'm on their Discord and ask questions when I have questions, and they've been providing good support to me so that we have been able to iron out some of the more serious problems that we've had. So I guess that's a good place to round off the episode. We're at 34 minutes, so I'm looking forward to being able to continue these series. I will try to post a video, maybe not every day, but at least I will show the progress of the server maybe every second day or so. Maybe every day if I find it fun, and I hope you follow and subscribe. Also, I would like to give a major cheer out to Catherine of Sky for her channel and for being the center of why this is possible. So thank you very much, Catherine, for being who you are and for being the nexus of our community. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you soon.